Say to you, say to you. Yes, good question, good question. One word, one word. Wow, that's going to have to be some amazing word. Hey, what's wrong with that? That's a perfectly good answer. I liked that. Oh, was that what that was? Huh. I'm always the last to know. Romance. Oh, romance. That was tricky. Good one, Trip. When in Rome, Trip. That's right, Trip. I'm sorry. See, Trip, I knew I should never have let you put up that picture. It's making our guest uncomfortable. I'll take the picture down later tonight before I go to bed. You know what? I don't feel like sitting. Trip, don't exaggerate. It was just a weekend getaway. All the buildings there were just so old and crumbling. It was like everything there was falling apart. And then Trip says, that's what makes it beautiful. Oh God, Trip, please let's not go overboard with the drink preparation. Ugh, you and your high-class drinks. We don't need to make a big production out of this, Trip. Trip, let's not go crazy with the drinks, okay? Now, Trip, don't get too worked up with the drinks tonight. No. Maybe you'd like some juice or mineral water. No. Maybe you'd like just a simple glass of white wine. No. How about something simple, like a nice glass of Chardonnay? Trip, that's not what he wants. Trip, that's not what she wants. Trip, don't force your fancy drinks on him. Trip, don't force your fancy drinks on her. Trip, don't pressure our friend, okay? Trip, we don't all share your infatuation with mixed drinks. Trip, maybe our friend isn't as excited by your suggestion as you are. You'd prefer a simple glass of water, right? You'd prefer a simple glass of juice, right? You'd prefer a simple glass of soda, right? You'd prefer just a beer, right? You'd prefer a simple glass of white wine, right? You'd prefer what you asked for, right? Okay, Trip, you heard him. Okay, Trip, you heard her. Okay, good. Okay. Okay, Trip, that's what he wants. Okay, Trip, that's what she wants. So anyway, that's Trip, always happiest when he's making fancy drinks for everyone in the room. You know Trip, he gets such pleasure from making fancy drinks for everybody. You know Trip, he never gets tired of making fancy drinks for whoever will indulge him. Anyhow, the funny thing is, Trip doesn't even like the taste of alcohol. I sometimes wonder if Trip spends so much time fixing drinks to avoid having real conversation with the guests. Sometimes I'm afraid Trip thinks the best way to a friend's heart is through his liver. Trip has always been partial to winning his friends over by way of the mixed drink. So anyway, yes, sometimes a simple glass of wine is better than those fancy drinks you always insist on making. Yes, you don't need to push the fancy drinks tonight. Trip, don't go overboard with the drink preparation tonight. Trip, you don't need to push the high-class drinks thing on our guests. Trip, take it easy, don't make a big production out of this. Trip, don't go crazy with the drinks. Trip, don't get yourself worked up over the drinks. Trip's getting a little carried away. Maybe you just want some juice or a mineral water? I think Trip is pressuring you too much. How about just a simple glass of white wine? I think you'd prefer something simple and light, like a nice glass of Chardonnay, yes? Trip, darling, that's not what he wants. Trip, darling, that's not what she wants. Trip, dear, don't force your fancy drinks on him. Trip, dear, don't force your fancy drinks on her. Trip, you're pressuring our friend. Trip, try to realize we don't all share your infatuation with mixed drinks. Trip, our friend isn't as excited by your suggestion as you are. You'd prefer water, right? You'd prefer juice, right? You'd prefer soda, right? You'd prefer a beer, right? You'd prefer a glass of white wine, right? You simply want what you asked for, right? Anyhow, Trip thinks he's at his classiest when he's on the serving end of a swizzle stick. Trip's favorite pastime is to get the blood alcohol content of his guests higher than his golf score. Trip would try to serve you one of his high-class drinks before even saying hello if he could. My dad bought Trip a silver-plated cocktail shaker for Christmas a few years back. The rest is history. 1 martini, 2 martini, 3 martini, floor. So anyway, yeah, a glass of wine seems so much better right now than one of your classy drinks. Yeah, we really don't need the fancy drinks tonight. As for my drink, well, actually, I would like a glass of Chardonnay. Yes, a glass of Chardonnay would be nice. I'd like a simple glass of Chardonnay, thank you. Just a glass of Chardonnay for me, please. Yeah, I'll have the same. That sounds nice. I'll have that too. I'll have a glass of Merlot too. The Merlot sounds fine. I'll just have what you're having. I'm happy just to have what our guest is having. I'm going to join our friend in what he is having. I'm going to join our friend in what she is having. I don't want anything to drink either. I'm not in the mood to drink tonight. I don't feel like drinking tonight. You know, I don't want to drink tonight. Just cranberry juice for me. Just some mineral water for me. I just want a little sparkling water. Nothing for me. I don't want anything. So, I was going to ask you. Oh, I'll get it. Trip, no, I want... No, are you? Oh, it's your parents. I'll get it. I want to say hello. Oh, I wanted to say hello. Anyhow, Trip's parents. They're sweet people, really down to earth. So, I was going to ask you. No, we have a guest. We can let the answering machine pick it up. Trip, please, dear, don't be rude. Why, are you expecting a phone call? No. It's probably just the execs at work inviting you to another one of your precious high-class poker games. It's probably just the cleaning service canceling on us again. It's so hard to find good help these days. What? Wait, let's just wait for the answering machine. What? Oh, that's... Wait a second. What? Oh, God, can we just... Let's just wait for the answering machine. No, please don't do that. Ugh, it's my dad. I can hear his voice. Okay, he's being annoying as usual. Just hang it up. Oh, good, you hung up. I can call him back later, or in a few days. Trip, please, I don't want to talk to them right now. No, Trip, we're entertaining a friend in our new apartment. The last thing I want to do is talk to my parents. Ugh, no, they're impossible. They're always expecting me to act like the dutiful daughter. It's so annoying. Ugh, no, they're impossible. They expect me to drive up to the house in Connecticut to attend all their stupid socialite charity benefits and parties. It's so tiresome. Yeah, no, I'll call my parents later. No, I'll call my parents later. Well, no, I'll call my parents later. Yeah, no, talking about my parents is just going to frustrate me. No, talking about my parents is just going to frustrate me. Well, no, talking about my parents is just going to frustrate me. Oh, God. I hope you didn't come here tonight to be entertained. Oh, God. This isn't much fun for you, is it? You're not enjoying this, are you? Trip, have you noticed we're fighting in front of our friend? Listen to us. We're arguing in front of our friend. Trip, it's okay if we disagree in front of our friend. Trip, there's nothing wrong with disagreeing in front of our friend. You don't agree? Okay, well, you don't agree? Okay, well, yeah, we're fighting. No, we're fighting. What? Well, we're fighting. What? Trip, it's okay if we disagree in front of our friend. Trip, there's nothing wrong with disagreeing in front of our friend. What? Anyway. Yeah, no, wait, what's wrong, Trip? No, wait, what's wrong, Trip? Wait, what's wrong, Trip? Trip, if it's at all convenient, could you, Trip, if you have a second, could you, Trip, if it's not too much trouble, could you switch on the French souffle steamer for me? Just set it to Le Pouf. Could you turn on the mini biscotti oven for me? Just set it to Bella Tosta. Could you brush some truffle butter on the crostini? It's all in the fridge. Just be careful with the truffle butter this time. Could you do that for me? Would you do that for me? I always try to make the hors d'oeuvres preparation a joint effort. Bubble, oil and truffles. Trip loves to push buttons. You have to do it manually. I lost the remote. Oh, God. Oh, goodness. I hope you don't interpret this somehow. Don't get the wrong idea. Okay, Trip is... I wouldn't want you to think Trip or we... It's not like this kind of thing happens. You know, Trip has been a little overbearing lately. This happens when he's stressed out about something. You know, if you just ask me what I really feel, then... But that's not what we talk about. I guess I've been feeling sort of squeezed lately between work and Trip's attitudes. And, you know, lately Trip keeps telling me how I won't ever be happy in this apartment, as if I'm some sort of spoiled child. You know, the thing is, what I really feel is that I just want something that I can give my all, something that I can care about. It's not like we're pretending everything's fine or anything. In a way, things are perfectly fine. You know, I don't know where he gets it, but Trip is so obsessed with what you and everybody thinks about us. How much do they like us? You know, he's always been charismatic and attractive. Everybody likes him. It's always been like that. You know, you don't have to tell me that things aren't perfect. I mean, you can't tell me that every marriage is perfect. I mean, I'm very, very aware that things aren't perfect. I mean, even from the start, we had... Yes, Trip? Yes, what? Yes, what is it? Oh, wait, where are you going? No, it's okay. It's nobody's fault. These days, everything just feels like one miscommunication after another. Yeah, sometimes I feel everything these days is just one damn miscommunication after another. Oh, God. Why does every conversation I have these days turn into a series of pathetic miscommunications? Oh, that's nice of you. You know, this is all just another miscommunication, I think. I can't... How? What? How? There isn't... How? Trip is right in the other room. Trip could come back at any second. Trip might be able to hear you. Oh, well, uh, what, you, uh, well, Trip, dear, is the souffle rising? Is the souffle rising? Trip, dear, did you start the mini biscotti? Did you start the mini biscotti? Trip, dear, did you find the truffle butter? Did you find the truffle butter? Never mind. I swear to God, Trip has a hearing problem. I really think I need to get him tested. You know, Trip tells me he's a good listener, but I swear, even when he does manage to hear what I'm saying, he forgets everything I tell him. Jesus, what was that? Trip, what happened? What happened? That's all right. We received 4 of those at our wedding. That's all right. I was getting really tired of that piece anyway. Trip's like a bull in a china shop when he's angry. Ugh, you, what? Ugh, ugh, you, what? Ugh. Trip, are you there? What? I can't hear you. Ah, what? Nothing, it was just the French souffle steamer falling into the sink. Nothing, it was just the pastry dough blender falling off the shelf. Nothing, it was just the mini biscotti oven falling onto the floor. Nothing, it was just the tropical fruit seed extractor falling over. So, what have you two been talking about in here? Who? You've been telling Trip about interesting women at your work? I'll take that as a yes. Fresh. Trip, if you want to invite fresh young women to our parties, you do that. Don't let me stop you. All right. Well, I thought of making some mascarpone cheese baked polenta triangles, but we're out of organic sea salt, so... God, what have you two been talking about in here? Maybe I should have stayed in the kitchen. It's not that I don't have feelings for you. You've been a friend for a long time. You've been a good friend for a long time, and I don't know what to think. We've been friends for a long time. You've been a good friend for a long time. I don't understand what... This is all confusing, because you've been a good friend for a long time. What I really just need right now is for you to just be my friend. What I just want tonight, if you can, is just to be my friend. What? Brie? We don't have any Brie. I'm sorry, I forgot. Look, I'm sorry I forgot the goddamn Brie, all right? What? No, Trip, no. Everything's fine. We didn't talk about anything. No, Trip, no. Everything's fine. Our friend is just teasing. I didn't want this to happen tonight. Why does this have to happen tonight? God, I didn't want this to happen tonight. God, why does this have to happen tonight? What? Oh, What? Oh, I'm sorry about... You were just trying to be nice. I'm sorry about... You probably meant well. I guess it just got to me or something. It just bugged me for some reason. Look, maybe you should just go back to the living room. Look, just let me be alone for a minute. Look, just give me a minute. I'll be all right. Everything's fine. Look, what you've said tonight, I know what you're getting at. Look, the things you've said tonight, I know what you're trying to say. The trip has been overbearing and difficult, and that if you'd just ask me what I really feel, then... But that's not what we talk about. That I've been squeezed between work and Trip's opinions. That Trip thinks I can't be happy in this apartment. That he thinks I'm some sort of spoiled child. I mean, if anyone just looks, they can see that I just want something that I can give, that I can care about. That Trip and I, we can't